Has this ever happened to you where you're doing a great job at work, you have a bunch of wins, you're getting attention, and it feels good, and then all of a sudden you freak out because you're like, oh my gosh, I am being too much. I need to stop the attention. I'm taking up too much space, and you kind of shut down. You start doing less. And then the momentum you were having at work kind of dies down because you start doing less because you want less attention because that attention feels like you're doing something wrong. Does that cycle feel familiar to you? If so, this video is for you. In this video, let's talk about that in 3 parts. 1, why that happens for deep feelers. 2, a reframe. And 3, what to do instead. Let's get into it. I have my notes ready to go. 1, why does this happen? If you are neurodivergent and you found out as an adult, you grew up not knowing that about yourself. You didn't have the context, the language, the self-compassion that it brings to understand that your brain is wired differently. You have different needs, you're more sensitive to things. So you've been growing up being told you're too much and feeling like you're too much and believing that you're too much. So when we do something well, when we are performing at work or in another context and getting recognized for that, that positive attention, which is a natural result of doing well, also starts to feel like we're doing something wrong. And it is a cycle that will keep bringing us down and stops us from achieving this level of success that we actually want, the recognition we do deserve when we do a good job. So if you're a deep feeler, neurodivergent in some way, the specific diagnosis does not matter. You can, in a way, sabotage your own success because that attention, that energy that we get from a positive outcome where people start paying attention to you can feel like you're doing something wrong. So as I've been on this journey of getting my personal diagnosis of OCD and ADHD and learning all about this world of highly sensitive people, I'm realizing this is exactly a cycle that I have been on at school, with friendships, relationships, and at work. I put effort in, I do something well, I get positive attention, I like that attention, then I start freaking out. And then I stop doing the positive things because I don't want that attention. And then I lose that momentum. And now that I have the context of my neurodivergency, it is so clear to me why that happens. So 2, what's the reframe? So we could stop that cycle for ourselves and also for our kids, right? We don't want to model that for our kids. The reframe is this: attention is not bad. Of course, some attention is not great. But if the attention is a result of you putting your genuine effort into something, and it led to a positive outcome, and people are noticing it and talking to you about it and telling others about it, that is not a bad thing. That is not a sign that you are too much. So that's the simple reframe. Attention is not always a bad thing. And I know it's so simple, but I also know that if you're like me and you're a deep feeler, it is a very important reframe for us to consider and remember when we start feeling uncomfortable from positive attention. So 3, what to do instead. Anchor in on your values and your intention. I really like to just pause, take a deep breath, reconnect, remind myself where I am, where my body is, because that's really important. A lot of times, deep feelers, we get really caught up in our head and our hearts, and our bodies end up being disconnected. So remember to take a moment to reconnect with your body and the ground and where you are. And then ask yourself, honestly, what was your intention? Did you take on that extra project at work just for attention? Or were you following your curiosity, growing your skills, trying to help your team, trying to grow the business? Think about, what was your intention? What were the values driving you to take those moves? Yeah, maybe you did want to get recognition at work in terms of like a raise or a promotion or whatever. That's different than doing it simply for attention. You just have to make sure you understand why you are doing the things you're doing and anchor in on those values and intentions. So recently I was taking on some projects proactively at work, and it got me some positive attention from leaders and stuff. And I was going on that familiar cycle. I was excited, and then I started freaking out. Oh no, I'm being too much attention. I'm shutting down, shut down. Nope. I actually was able to reframe. Not all attention is bad. And 2, I took a breath and I really thought about my intention. What were my values in doing those projects? And it truly just was follow my curiosity and trying to help the business. That's really all it was. And so anytime I felt like, okay, this is too much attention, I don't deserve this praise, I just anchor in on those are my values. I didn't do it for attention, and not all attention is bad. So I really hope that if any of you are also caught in this cycle of doing the work, doing the good things, getting noticed, getting the praise, and then freaking out about it, I really hope that this reframe and the focus on values can really help you break out of the cycle, because you deserve that attention. You deserve that recognition, and there's nothing wrong with it. I hope you found that helpful and it resonated. My name is Diana, and I'm a deep feeling mom sharing what's working for me on my journey to build authentic self confidence.